Susie, and welcome to our podcast.
I'm Ron, welcome.
We are here to talk about what's going on in the addiction world, seeing what's going on around us and how bad the addiction world has gotten. We want to bring some awareness. Today we want to talk about the family disease and the secrets and how the parents can prevent possibly from their loved ones, or even not parents but spouses or family members from their loved ones overdosing on drugs. What do you think, Ron?
No, I think I'm so happy we're doing this. I mean, I think this is such an important thing because it's, I had my best friend actually, about 6 months ago. It was longer than that. In any case, I got news that he had overdosed, and there was all sorts of secrets. There were all sorts of things I didn't know, and there was all sorts of guilt, blame. You end up blaming yourself when something like this happens. And it just so happens that he was a drug addict, and he was doing crystal meth, and it was laced with fentanyl. And this is something that is so important that families know about this, addicts know about this, treatment knows about this, because for some reason this particular topic is getting swept under the rug and is affecting so many people. I mean, the statistics of fatalities is exponential. And I just think that by doing what we're doing right now and bringing this out to people and talking about it, because you don't see it in the newspaper. You don't see articles about this. You don't see this on the cover of Time magazine. And yet this was the #1 killer last year of people between the ages of 15 and 45, the prime of your life. So I'm so happy. Susie, I just want to say I'm so happy we're doing this, and and educating the families and letting them know that it's not like when we were kids and we were experimenting. Experimenting is over. There's no more experimenting because you're playing Russian roulette. In the 80s, okay, maybe I did a little bit of coke. I smoked a little marijuana. I drank, with my friends. Okay, I did that. But you go out and you experiment now and you're dead. That's it. There's no other way. That's how dangerous this is.
So I would like to share that I also am a mother who has 2 recovering adult drug and alcoholic adult children, and I myself have had to. I do empathize with being in denial in the beginning and not wanting to face the fact that your adult child is addicted to drugs. I have mental illness comes into play. The fentanyl factor comes into play, the overdose comes into play, and the minute that I decided to do something about it was the minute that I took my hand off. Even as a professional counselor, I could not help my family member. I could not help my children. I had to make sure that my part was getting out of the way and bringing them to get the help that they needed, because when I try to do it and I try to help, I was enabling them, and all I was doing was helping them to die a little bit more each day by giving them a place to stay, by believing them. And I just want to say one other thing, because parents, it's never easy. It's not an easy thing. It's easier for me to treat somebody else than it would ever be to admit that my child was going through this. It is the hardest thing in the world. But we cannot be in denial about it. Then the sooner that we get the help that we need and we educate ourselves so that we can be a help to them, the sooner we can maybe eliminate a relapse. Overdose in their lives. My son has overdosed a couple times.
Please charge your phone as soon as possible.
He is, by the grace of God, still alive, and he came back from that overdose, and I'm not ashamed to talk about that because I want to bring awareness to that. And I have a daughter who's also has mental illness, and she's getting help for that, dual diagnosis, and I'm not ashamed of that because today they're both recovering addicts because I got the help and I seeked help from the outside. What do you think, Ron?
Well, Susie, I think you said that so well, and being a parent, do you feel if you could give parents who are struggling with what you have struggled with, something that they can grasp onto, like, because I know it's got to be so hard as a parent to just, you know what I mean, stop the enabling, you know, turn your back in a sense, you know what I mean? It just goes against everything a parent natural instincts would be. What would you say to parents who are facing something like that? What could they latch onto that would help them get them through that period?
We're too close to the situation. We cannot treat our children. We cannot do it at any age. We need to give them to professionals. Just like if your child needed surgery, you wouldn't take it upon yourself because you're not a doctor. Or even if you were a doctor, your hands would shake on your own child. You cannot help them. Let the professionals help them save their lives. You give them a hot place to live, they're gonna keep using. An addict only needs an excuse to continue to use. And another thing I wanna say, that is not your child. That's an addicted person, and you're fighting the disease. You're not fighting your child. You need to give it to the professionals to fight that for you. And what you need to do, parents, is have faith, pray on it, and it will get better. But if you continue to enable the bad behavior, that bad behavior will take them out. Because like the last podcast we talked about, fentanyl is in everything. And they don't even have to be fentanyl addicts. Most of them aren't fentanyl addicts that do more of a drug. That's their drug of choice, let's say cocaine or heroin, and they overdose and die. 1 in 3 addicts will die from this disease. And they can get it from Snapchat, and they can get it from Craigslist, and now they deliver the drugs. Parents, please, if you even suspect, give us a call, let us drug test them. One last thing I want to add to this is, you can buy all the 12-panel drug tests you want, but that will not test for fentanyl. Fentanyl is a synthetic opioid. That means it needs a special drug test. Bring them to the facilities, give us a call. If nothing else, we're here to drug test them. We watch them pee. They cannot trick us, and we will get to the bottom of it. You at least owe yourselves that much. I know I did for my kids.
It's so important. That was really well put. And as I say, in the day of fentanyl, which is where we are, there's no more secrets.
No.
It has to be total transparency. That's the only way we're going to make it out.
We're in this together. Thank you. Thank you guys so much for joining in.
Thank you, and we hope to be seeing you soon.